Hey guys, it's your best fight friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Carlos Correa wants to get inside the Octagon with maybe John Jones and get whooped.
Carlos Correa, if you don't know, is kind of a well-known baseball person. Is that what they're called?
Hey, Brett, I've never seen this sports ball. You act like you haven't watched baseball your whole life. What is this sports ball? So yeah, he's a shortstop for the Houston Astros. He's been an all-star. He was the Rookie of the Year. He was the number 1 overall draft pick in 2012. This guy has had a really great career. He's been in the league for 5 years. Won a World Series championship, obviously, with the Astros. Was involved in a cheating scandal with the Astros. I'm just kidding. He was. I mean, I'm not kidding. He was involved.
I mean,
in that.
he's on the team.
He's on the team. I like Carlos Correa. I've met Carlos Correa.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I have.
Course.
Obviously, I have. But Kelsey's a Texas Rangers fan too. So half of me is really happy. Carlos Correa is awesome, and half of me is like, screw him for being an Astro. See what I'm saying?
But back to the point that we want to talk about here is, what about currently like playing baseball and then also maybe fighting once a year? Is that a thing that could happen?
It's a thing that could happen, but probably not in a way that we could all see it. I don't think the Astros or any Major League Baseball team is like, sure, because the Astros invested like millions and millions of dollars in Carlos Correa. I'm sure they wouldn't like him being in a risky combat sports. There's also situations where baseball players aren't allowed to do other risky things because baseball contracts, unlike a lot of other sports leagues, are guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
What we saw speaking of the Texas Rangers, our guy, Prince Fielder, not Cecil Fielder, that's Prince Fielder, former Texas Ranger, retired. He might make the most money out of anybody this year. He hasn't played in a couple of years because his contract's guaranteed, right? He gets all that money. That's great for baseball players. I got nothing against that. However, it does mean that it's less likely that people like Carlos Correa, especially, it'd be different if Carlos had been fighting, a fighter his whole life. This is something that he just seems to have passing interest in. I don't think they would stick him in the octagon or even in a boxing ring or anything like that.
I just find it interesting because football is also a really dangerous full contact sport. And so for a baseball team to allow a player to do that with Deion Sanders' case, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders were great college football players, right? Who also had interest in baseball. They weren't drafted by baseball teams and came up in their system and then want to go off and play football, right? They were already playing football. So I'm saying maybe if Stipe Miocic was a great baseball player.
If it was first UFC and then also wanted to add on baseball and I just happen to be great at it. Okay.
I just don't, with all that money invested in people, you can't possibly, I mean, who cares? Is it awesome? It is awesome. Carlos Correa, being a huge avid MMA and combat sports fan, is awesome. He was on Errol Helwani's show on ESPN. He talked to MMA Junkie. He knows the stuff. He predicted Justin Gaethje would beat Tony Ferguson at UFC 249. That's awesome.
Here's what I really liked about the whole interview. Carlos Correa, the reason he wants to fight is because he wants to be a better analyst.
Yeah.
He said that when he's making picks or he's like sharing his opinion about what fighters should do and if they should do that, he said that he feels like, I guess what I heard was that he's a little bit in the dark because he's never done it himself. So he can only go so far, but he wants that actual octagon, knowledge. He wants to really know. Here's the other interesting thing he said. He said that he would like to experience knocking somebody out. But the more interesting thing is that he said before that even, is that he wants to experience getting knocked out.
In the octagon. Not just getting knocked out, but getting knocked out inside the octagon.
Correct. As you said, anybody can supply him with the favor to just knock him out. But he wants to get knocked out inside the octagon. He wants to know how that feels. And I was like,
he loves it. He loves it. I think it's awesome. He's a great baseball player for sure. I would definitely love if the Texas Rangers could somehow swipe him from the Astros. That's not happening.
Well, here's something that might be another option is, should he kind of feel like he's done what he wants to do in baseball, is moving over to the UFC after that. So not doing it concurrently, but crossing over, moving on, and It would be like his second career, his second sports career.
I mean,
He said he grew up boxing, and so that is related. You know, it's in the combat sports realm.
If he's, depending on how much he did, even doing the little will help him. Now the thing is, though, I mean, when is this going to happen? Because if you're Carlos Correa, I think he's 25. He's still pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys would think that this has to be at least 8 years away from becoming a thing, right? How would you walk away from $20 million a year or whatever to pursue this thing where they don't get paid anywhere close to that? You know what I'm saying?
Not anywhere close.
And you're probably not going to make it to the UFC. You're probably going to get worked over in some regional amateur MMA card somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I will just say, we just, recently finished watching the, Last Dance documentary on ESPN, and Michael Jordan did walk away. It's not like he couldn't have gotten a contract to continue, playing. I mean, he came back later. But what I'm saying is sometimes when you're making lots of money, and as long as your future, your health bills, you got that stuff taken care of, your retirement, your family, it does seem like some of these guys have money above and beyond what they need for a lifetime. You could say, you know what? I've done everything I want to do here. I want to try something new. Maybe money's not the thing.
I think you're right. Definitely, like Rachel says, Carlos Correa should retire right now. Go immediately. He started talking to John. He started talking noise to John Jones right now on Twitter because John Jones is open for business on Twitter. If you want to get in on it, he doesn't care if you're a fan, if you're media, if you're sending him pictures funeral pictures for wanting to fight Francis Ngannou. Listen, he will definitely make time for you, Carlos, I bet.
We're all here for, just smart and witty internet, whatever it is, and sending John Jones
those
stills of African funerals, it's hilarious.
From the very beginning, and they're all different kinds. And he even quote tweeted one, and they had a pretty good comeback for it. It was pretty funny because he kind of referenced his own history with Daniel Cormier. And in fact, I go to replies, when somebody tweets, like John Jones tweets, I go to their replies just to see what people are doing because it is funny. It's funny.
People are funny.
They are funny. They're funny.
You know what's not funny, guys?
Coronavirus.
When you don't like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, that too. They're both. They're the two plagues of the world right now. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, but you can end this plague. Just like, comment, and hey, hit that subscribe button.